It's the kind of crazy journey of I'm still here to the Oscars.
Yeah, this one's a real head-scratcher.
It really is.
You wouldn't believe the obstacles this film had to overcome just to be in the conversation. We're talking about a late release, very limited screenings, and on top of that, it's in Portuguese.
Which, let's be real, doesn't always get the same attention as some other foreign language films do.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the story here. What's really interesting is that Sony Pictures Classics SPC, they knew they had a potential masterpiece on their hands. But their biggest challenge, according to them, was just getting people to actually watch the film. It's like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, does it make a sound?
Right. A film can't generate buzz if nobody's seen it.
Exactly. And we've got a ton of material to dig into today. Articles, interviews, the whole story of how this underdog film made it to the Oscars.
So let's break it down. I'm Still Here had just a 1-week qualifying run at the end of 2024, and its international release was just last week.
Oh, wow. Talk about cutting it close.
Right. And for those who might not know, a qualifying run basically means the film has to be shown in LA theaters for a certain amount of time to be eligible for the Oscars.
Exactly. So not only was it a late release, but we also read that even Fernanda Torres herself, the lead actress, talked about how Portuguese cinema, while it's definitely growing, still faces an uphill battle in Hollywood.
Yeah, I remember reading about that interview. It was on live TV, and Torres was very candid about how SPC felt this urgency to get I'm Still Here in front of audiences, like right away.
They knew they had something special, but they needed people to see it. So where do they start? The Hollywood Foreign Press Association, the folks behind the Golden Globes?
Interesting. So the Golden Globes become this crucial first step.
Exactly. Because think about it, who's at the Golden Globes? A lot of Academy members, SPC was betting that if Torres won a Golden Globe, those Academy members would be curious enough to check out her film, especially since it was readily available on the Academy's own streaming platform.
And as luck would have it, Fernanda Torres wins the Golden Globe for Best Actress.
And boom, suddenly I'm Still Here is on everyone's radar. The number of views on the Academy's streaming platform skyrocketed. It's like they lit a match and the buzz just kept spreading.
And then you have someone like Jamie Lee Curtis publicly praising the film, calling it a masterpiece. That kind of organic support must have been huge for SPC.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just about Fernanda Torres' performance anymore. The focus was shifting to the film as a whole.
It sounds like SPC was ready to capitalize on that shift, too.
Oh, they were. And this is where their campaign gets really interesting. At first, it was all about getting Torres a Best Actress nomination. But with all this momentum building, they set their sights on something bigger, a Best Picture nomination.
Wow. That's a bold move. So they were thinking big picture now. And if I'm remembering correctly, didn't they also strategically place a for-your consideration ad during Torres' appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live?
You've got a great memory. They knew exactly what they were doing. Jimmy Kimmel Live is a massive platform. It was a chance to get the film in front of a huge audience at a crucial moment.
So from flying under the radar to landing right in the middle of the Oscar race, that's some impressive maneuvering. And a lot of it seems to be thanks to Torres' Golden Globe win and SPC's strategic campaign.
Right, but let's not underestimate the power of a truly captivating performance. Torres was phenomenal, and that, combined with SPC's campaign, really put her and the film on the map.
It really shows how great performance and a smart strategy can make a huge difference, even in a world dominated by big studio films.
Absolutely. And it adds a whole new layer of excitement to this year's Oscar race, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. The Best Actress category was already stacked, but with Torres in the mix, it's anyone's game now.
It really is. It really throws a wrench into all the predictions. Some of the early favorites for Best Actress haven't been squeaking the awards like everyone thought they would.
Yeah, that definitely leaves the door open for someone like Torres to make a real impact. It's kind of like watching an underdog sports team go on a Cinderella run.
Exactly. It's so exciting. It just goes to show that in Hollywood, just like in sports, anything can happen.
It's amazing to think that just a few months ago, I'm Still Here was practically unknown.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It really speaks volumes about how effective SBC's strategy was. They didn't let those early challenges, the late release, the language barrier, they didn't let any of that stop them.
They were persistent, they believed in the film, even when the odds were stacked against them. I think there's a valuable lesson in that for all of us.
Absolutely. Passion and a well-executed plan can really move mountains.
And it seems like audiences are responding to that I'm Still Here is getting praise, not just for Fernanda Torres' performance, but for the film itself. What do you think it is about the story that's resonating with people?
Well, based on some of the reviews we've read, it seems like the film tackles some pretty universal themes, family loss, resilience, and it does it in a way that feels very authentic and relatable. It's a story about the human condition, something we can all connect with no matter what language we speak or what cultural background we come from.
There's that word again, authentic. It seems to come up a lot when people describe Fernanda Torres' performance. What makes her portrayal so believable?
From what I've gathered, she brings a real raw vulnerability to the role. Critics are saying she completely embodies the character. She conveys such a depth of emotion. It just feels incredibly real and relatable.
It's interesting. The more we talk about it, the more it seems like Torres' performance and the power of the film itself are kind of intertwined. They elevate each other.
Like it's a symbiotic relationship. The film gives her this incredible platform to showcase her talent, and her performance brings the story to life in a way that words on a page just can't do.
It makes you wonder if this unexpected success might have a ripple effect on the industry as a whole. Could I'm Still Here change the way foreign language films are viewed and campaigned for in Hollywood?
That's a great question. We've seen some breakthroughs in recent years with foreign language films getting recognition, even winning major awards. But there's still this sense that they have a tougher time compared to English language films. Could I'm Still Here shift the paradigm? It's definitely something to think about.
It would be amazing to see a film like this, with all its challenges and triumphs, not only win awards, but also pave the way for more diverse stories to be told and celebrated.
It would be a big step towards recognizing the power of storytelling, no matter the language or where the story comes from. Imagine a future where the main thing that matters is how good the film is, not what language it's in.
That's a vision worth striving for.
Yeah.
For sure. It seems like I'm Still Here is asking us to reconsider our assumptions and biases when it comes to foreign language cinema.
And who knows, maybe this is just the beginning. Maybe we're seeing a shift in audience tastes, a growing appreciation for films that offer new perspectives and challenge our preconceived notions.
It's exciting to think about.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we've got the Oscars coming up soon. The anticipation is building, and everyone's wondering if I'm Still Here will keep winning. What do you think about the film's chances?
It's hard to say for sure. The competition is tough, especially in the Best Actress and Best Picture categories, but I'm Still Here has definitely become a force to be reckoned with. It has momentum, critical acclaim, a compelling story.
And let's not forget, Fernanda Torres is giving an incredible performance. You can feel the buzz building, and there's definitely a feeling that I'm Still Here could pull off a major upset.
Exactly. The unpredictability is what makes award season so thrilling. We get to watch these underdog stories unfold, these unexpected victories that defy the odds. It reminds us that anything is possible and that talent and perseverance can win in the end.
And for movie lovers like us, that's what makes it so fun to watch.
It's all about those moments that make you gasp, cheer, and maybe even shed a tear or two. The moments that remind us why we love cinema.
Speaking of memorable moments, let's go back for a second and talk about Sony Pictures Classics' campaign strategy.
Yes, the masterminds behind this underdog's rise to fame. What specifically piques your interest?
Well, it's one thing to recognize a great film, but it's a whole other thing to know how to position it for award success. It seems like SPC had a game plan from the start, but they were also smart enough to adapt and change their strategy as things progressed.
That's a good observation. Their initial focus on getting Fernanda Torres a Best Actress nomination was very strategic. They knew that showcasing her performance would be key to getting the film noticed. But then, as I'm Still Here started gaining traction, they wisely decided to go for Best Picture as well.
It was like they were playing chess, always thinking a few steps ahead.
It's really interesting to see how they used the Golden Globe win to their advantage. They knew that a win at the Globes would create a lot of buzz, and they were ready to take advantage of that. Placing that for your consideration ad during Torres' appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live was pure marketing genius.
The timing was perfect. They reached a huge audience right when interest in the film was at its peak.
Exactly. They knew they had to strike while the iron was hot, and they didn't stop there. They also made sure Academy members could easily watch the film on their streaming platform. They removed any obstacles to make sure voters could actually see I'm Still Here.
They weren't leaving anything to chance. They made sure the film was front and center at the most important time.
And we can't forget the power of word of mouth. Jamie Lee Curtis's public endorsement was huge. When someone respected in the industry praises a film like that, people pay attention. It creates a ripple effect, and suddenly everyone's talking about, I'm Still Here.
Like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger.
That's a great analogy. It really shows that a well-crafted campaign can make a huge difference. It's not just about having a great film, it's also about knowing how to position it, how to get people talking, and how to connect with audiences and voters.
I'm Still Here seems like the perfect storm of talent, timing, and strategy.
And it's a great reminder that even in an industry as competitive as Hollywood with its big studios and blockbusters, a smaller film with a powerful story can still capture the hearts and minds of audiences and critics.
It gives hope to independent filmmakers and shows the enduring power of authentic storytelling. But at the end of the day, it's all about the film itself, right?
Absolutely. The film is the heart of everything. No amount of campaigning can create a masterpiece. I'm Still Here is resonating with people because it's a well-made film with something to say.
It speaks to something universal about being human, and I think that's why it's having such an impact regardless of language or cultural differences.
It's a reminder that great stories can transcend borders. And maybe that's the most important lesson I'm Still Here has to teach us.
What a journey it's been for this film, from being practically unknown to becoming an Oscar contender in just a few months.
It has been a wild ride, and we haven't even reached the finish line yet.
Who knows what surprises await us on Oscar night?
One thing's for sure, we'll be glued to our screens, eager to see how this underdog story ends.
It feels like I'm Still Here is kind of at a crossroads now. You know, it's achieved this amazing level of recognition.
Yeah, but the biggest test is still to come.
Exactly. The Oscars are like the ultimate validation in Hollywood.
Totally.
Yeah.
And nominations are great, but actually winning, that's a whole other level.
And let's not forget, even getting nominated was a bit of a surprise. It missed out on some of those earlier awards that people thought were essential for a Best Picture nomination.
Which makes the whole thing even more interesting. It's like SPC had this secret strategy, this unconventional path to success.
Speaking of their strategy, do you think other studios will try to copy what SPC did with I'm Still Here?
It's definitely possible. I mean, there's a lot to learn from their approach. The targeted campaign, building momentum through the Golden Globes, getting maximum exposure at just the right time. It was a masterclass in strategy.
But it wasn't just about the campaign, right? The film itself had to be good. No amount of marketing could create this much buzz if the film wasn't good.
Oh, absolutely. A good campaign can make a film's strengths stand out, but it can't create those strengths out of nothing. I'm Still Here connected with audiences because it's a well-told story with an amazing performance at its heart.
It feels like it hit that sweet spot,
Yeah.
you know? A great story, a phenomenal performance, and a clever campaign all working together.
It's a rare combination, that's for sure. And it'll be interesting to see if this success changes how foreign language films are seen in Hollywood. Could this be the start of a new era of appreciation for international cinema?
That's the big question, isn't it? Will this be a turning point or just a brief moment of recognition?
Only time will tell. But no matter what happens on Oscar night, I'm Still Here has already made an impact. It's challenged our assumptions, broadened our perspectives, and reminded us of the power of storytelling that goes beyond language and borders.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. As you watch the Oscars, think about the journey of I'm Still Here. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected stories are the ones that really stick with us. The underdogs, the films that defy expectations, they often have the most to teach us about passion, perseverance, and the universal language of film.
And who knows, maybe they'll even walk away with an Oscar or two. We'll be watching, eager to see how this underdog story unfolds. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the stories that matter.